What's up? I'm Steve Green. You're watching Tough Talk. Today we're talking about why you're not special. It feels good to say that. There isn't one person on this whole earth who knows what the fuck they're doing. I'm not talking about like technical things. I'm talking about looking at the president and being like, well, that's the president. I could never be president. Actually, dude, he's just doing what everyone else does at every job I've ever seen. If you just pretend like you know what you're doing to enough people in enough rooms and you never crack and you never break, hey, do you think you can do this? Yeah, fuck yeah. If you do that, doors will open for you that you wouldn't believe would ever open. I think one of my first jobs I ever got, I sat across from the manager. He's like, okay, are you good at managing other people? I was like, fuck yeah, it's like a no sweat. I had no experience in managing other people whatsoever. My dad had a company, and I used that company as my reference point to say like, hey, I used to have this job here, which is true. I used to work there, but I was a fucking janitor. I basically just wrote this bullshit title because, trust me guys, bullshitters love bullshit titles. You'll see like Executive Vice President of Creative Services. Anytime somebody's the vice president of something, it just means they have no idea what the fuck they're doing, but they know how to string stupid words together to make a bullshit title so that some investor somewhere is blown the fuck away by their business card, the way that it's embossed and the big fucking title underneath it. Meanwhile, this person has no idea what they're doing, and what they do is they delegate authority to other people. I imagine on their first day at work, they're literally in their office and they're like, hey, you work for me, right? Yeah, I work for you. I just got this email like saying I got to do this thing. Can you do that? And they're like, sure, boss. That's you. Yeah, I work for you. Yeah. Oh, really? No shit? Okay, yeah, like just do that and let me know when it's done. And that's all they do. They just delegate authority all day and they themselves have no fucking idea how any of it gets done. It's a better crime than anything George Clooney ever did in Ocean's 11, man. It is such a caper. Imagine being president of the United States. You walk into the Oval Office on day one, you're in fucking charge, and you've never done this before. And so you just walk into the Oval Office and you sit down at the desk and you're just like, and then your aide comes in and he's like, oh, Mr. President, I'm sorry if I bothered you. No, I'm just, just thinking about policy. And they're like, oh, well, of course, yes, of course. Literally that job is such a cushy fucking gig that everyone in the whole world thinks that you're under this incredible amount of pressure. They're always like, oh my God, did you guys see how Obama, did you guys see his hair? Look at him in the inauguration. Now look at him now. Look at the gray. Look at the stress that he's under. Look at the amount of pressure that job puts on a man. Look at Clinton, okay? When he took office, he had a nice amount of pepper hair, almost looking like a wig, dude. It was a fucking beautiful like pompadour. Then look at him at the end of his term. 8 years away, look at how gray his hair is. Oh my God, the pressure of the job, guys. Well, guess what? It also just so happens that every guy who's elected president is about 40-something years old, and their hair at around the mid-40s changes to gray. So everyone's just like, yeah, man, the stress of the fucking job, the stress of the position. You could take the milkman and be like, dude, the milkman, did you see the milkman 8 years ago, dude? Fucking the stress of the job, man. Fucking unbelievable amount of pressure. It's bullshit, dude. The president has the best job in the world ever, okay? People come into him and be like, hey, Mr. President, you're going here at this time. And he's like, oh, tight, okay. Do I get to eat? And they're like, yeah, man, it's fully fucking catered, everything. He's like, okay, yeah. He's like, hey, real quick, I think I'm gonna go to Martha's Vineyard this week. Is that cool? And they're like, dude, that's fucking, yeah, of course, we'll set it right up, Mr. President. He's like, okay, and I'm gonna go golfing too. And they're like, yeah. And he's like, okay. Like, it's just that, man. And that's every job in the world. People pretending like they know how to do things when they fucking don't. You've all been tricked, though, into thinking that maybe you're not good enough because there are so many special people out there. No, I can't be a stand-up comedian because there's so many special people out there who are doing it so much better than I ever could. Well, guess what, dude? They just started doing it just like you need to. That's literally how it all happens. And then you get experience in it and you start learning how to do it a little bit, and then maybe you can just pull off this great caper to as many people as possible that, like, actually know how to do this and people should pay me money to do this, okay? That's when you have excelled at bullshitting your way to the top, okay? When people will actually pay you money for you to bullshit. There's not one job, not one thing that I can think of that you could ever not do. Everything is possible. So believe me when I say that you're not special, because you're not, and neither am I, and neither is anybody. And that's the beautiful thing about this life that we live, okay? Nobody's fucking special, and that's why anything is possible. And this has been Tough Talk.